How do we determine who an A player is in our organization? Because that term, I mean, it's just kind of going by our gut. It's not as simple as that. And there's actually a better way to figure out who your A players are, and that's the talent assessment chart. You see, we want people who align with our vision or values of our organization. And values are not just some pretty artwork on the wall. They actually are those guidelines, those expectations around like beliefs and behaviors that we have with each other. And if we don't set what those are for the organization, then you can have people kind of going off and doing their own thing, and really it becomes toxic because people expect people to be honest or trustworthy or take care of their customer or watch the finances. But then other employees might not be doing that, and so it can cause a lot of tension and conflict because you're just not clear on really what the value of the organization. So we want to be clear on what our values are, and our A players highly align with that. If we were to give them a rating of like a 0 to 10, it would be like a 9 or a 10, maybe an 8, 9, or 10 in terms of aligning with your core values. And then we have to have that productivity. Do they have the will and the skill to get things done? And these people up here in that top section, 8, 9, or 10 of the lines of core values, and having that will and skill and that productivity to get things done, those are really your A people. The people who are kind of maybe like a 5 of both of those maybe have A potential. But I'm going to challenge you, if you have anybody that is even a BC, then you probably should not have them working for you. And they're going to be happier working for a place that they align better with. They're probably cynical, they're probably holding people back, and they're making the environment toxic. Think about that high-performing salesperson that everybody hates. Does anybody know who I'm talking about in your organization? You've got this guy who might be killing it with the numbers, but how he's doing it is a little bit sketchy. Maybe he's coming in and harassing some of his team members, and maybe he's just not really giving your organization a great name. That would be somebody who might be a B over here, but they're kind of down here on the core values, and it's making it uncomfortable for everybody. Alternatively, you've got somebody who really aligns with the core values, but they really don't have the will and skill to get done what needs to get done. You can maybe see if there's a better role that they have the will and skill for to be able to be productive, or maybe it's not necessarily a great fit for your organization either. But ultimately, if you want a high-performing company, you want to find those A players and be willing to pay for them. Compensate them well, because they are worth it. When you have B, C, or D players, you're just shooting yourself in the foot in terms of your performance per employee. And you're probably dragging down the A players, so even their performance is pulled back. You can actually increase your performance per employee sometimes as much as 100%. You can almost double, in many cases maybe even more, depending on how toxic of an environment it's become. Because you have the B players who might be performing at about half of the capacity of an A player, while they're slowing those A players down because they got to go back and clean up those messes. Embrace the talent assessment chart and have your team members, because once you get those A players at the top of the leadership team, it typically means that they're going to look for A players as well if you drive that in the culture, and everybody's going to be happy.